All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. And today I have Chris at Financial Prepper on. And how you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to our audience. And I want to ask everyone right now, go down to the link below, subscribe to Chris's channel, Financial Prepper. You're going to get lots of great information. And as we continue to build community, we talk a lot about community and parallel society and parallel economics. You know, this is one of the ways that we desire to do that and to help build these networks. And, you know, we're trying to push our information out to multiple platforms and multiple means of communication. And so please go over to Financial Prepper, subscribe to Chris and Stacey's channel. You'll get lots of great edifying information. And we both cover the fun stuff and the not so fun stuff, but we just try to keep it real. So, so speaking of
not
that,
very fun to talk about.
yeah, and it was real interesting today how your live stream was kind of very similar or synergistic to the video that we posted this morning, and I thought that was kind of neat as we were both feeling kind of like the same thing. And, you know, we just wanted to vocalize that. So I appreciated the encouragement from your channel. And
yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to try to include some more Bible stories in my videos. That's I have to, because I've been studying that, and whatever I study is what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
And, you know, when you're studying and trying to run down everything that's happening on the planet, you know, with all the bad and the AI and all the just everything, and it's overwhelming, and you got to step back and get in the Word and realize God's got a plan. It's not falling apart; it's coming together.
That's right. That is great. That is absolutely true. And you know, while we're trying to navigate all that and deciding how we should lead our families, how we should, what is the proper way to prepare, what things we should prepare. First and foremost, we should prepare spiritually, right? We should be ready to meet the creator of the universe. And that's all part of it. And then we need to figure out moving forward, not knowing the end and how everything is going to perfectly fall into place. You know, we need to continue to live and lead our families and lead the next generation, because we don't know. No man knoweth the day or the hour. And so rather than just sit around and try to figure that out, it makes a whole lot more sense to be productive, right? And to keep marching forward and, you know, helping people, sharing the truth, and just sharing from our different experiences what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, what you said is just reminded me of Joseph. When Jacob told his brothers, Joseph's brother said, "Hey, why are y'all standing here looking at each other? You need to go to Egypt and get us some food." You know, it's a bad famine. You're right. It's easy to consume news and do nothing. And the important part is to take action. And
that's right.
We might even talk about some of those things.
Great. Yeah. Action cures fear, you know, and what you do is you control what you can control, and you leave the rest to God. Like, I'm going to take the knowledge that I'm given, and I'm going to take the wisdom that God gives me. I'm going to control every factor and facet that's within my capability. It's within my spectrum. And then the rest of it, I'm going to leave it up to God. I'm not going to worry about things that I cannot control. You know, I cast all my cares upon him, and he takes care of all the stuff that we have no control over.
Fear and it steals everything. You don't make good decisions, and if you're not prepared, you don't make good decisions. You know, and it's being prepared really helps as much as possible. Like you said, you do what you can, and then maybe it buys you a little time. You know.
Yeah,
you don't have to be the fearful one running and try to get toilet paper.
That's right.
You know, you can
maybe you just have
everybody else.
That's right. All right, I'm going to pull up this article, Chris, and this is more interesting bank news. You know, we've been talking about this. I know you've been talking about this on your channel, And this was posted by the bomb thrower at bombthrower.com. And this is about NatWest. So we have another one of these regional banks, right? Withdrawing your own cash. NatWest Bank wants to know why and see proof. So here they're posting this flyer that was supposedly at a NatWest bank, right? And what I really liked about what Mark did here is he said, a reader sent me this graphic, which is circulating on social media. Whenever I see an attributed image like this going around, I want to verify it, lest it be photoshopped, a deep fake, or some derivation of urban legend, because there's always, trust but verify. There are a lot of these different memes and different things that gets pushed out on social media, and a lot of them are fake. So, we got to use a little common sense and wisdom to decipher as we're studying and searching and looking for information, right? Sure enough, if you go to the NatWest Bank's website right here, you see the cash withdrawal policy spelled out for all to see. What is the maximum amount I can withdraw from a branch? Cash withdrawals are the least secure way of making payments. Our primary aim is to keep customers and secure. So they're using Newspeak. They are using code words, right? Safe and effective, safe and secure. This will include asking you questions about the purpose of your cash withdrawal, and in some cases for supporting documentation such as an invoice. So this is kind of insane, y'all. They're telling you they want an invoice for something that you're withdrawing cash for. This is absolutely despotic. This is totalitarian. This is none of your business, right? And this is wild. But this isn't actually new. Here in Canada for at least a few years, predating COVID, the big four banks have been routinely asking you why you are taking cash out whenever you withdraw anything over a couple $1,000s. However, you can tell them pretty well anything because I want it, none of your business, or even to blow it all on booze and hookers. I haven't heard a case where withdrawal has been denied based on the reason supplied yet. So we've been hearing more and more about this, Chris, at different and of course, same thing here in America with the big six. The big six are really big about implementing all of this track and trace, track them, stack them, pack them stuff. And, what Bomb Thrower is going to get into is CBDCs, how they're going to operate, how they're going to function, which are going to facilitate this Stasi questionnaire kind of thing. What do you think about all this, Chris?
I think it's heading exactly the way they want it. I think they knew the people that are in charge of the banking system know good and well. They know the history like we do, and what they did in 2008 was open Pandora's box to unlimited money printing. And I think they knew then. I think they knew they were going to blow the bubble up so big one day that it was going to have to burst. This problem that we're living through is easy money creating an enormous amount of debt, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and they're doing everything they can to make it bigger, it seems.
Yeah.
We don't have corrections anymore. We just have bubbles to the moon. And knowing all that, you would think they would know, hey, we're going to have to do something in the future because one day this isn't going to work. And now we're seeing it with withdrawals at the bank. We're seeing it, in the markets. Hey, you can't short stocks anymore. That talk's going
right.
on. We're seeing all kind of manipulation. And eventually they'll be able to push us through the big six into these crypto, CBDCs, central bank currencies, not crypto really.
Yep.
And they'll have total control. then they'll be in the catbird seat. That's what it is. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And, I sent you a text the other day, right, with all of this boycotting with like Bud Light and Target, and we're watching these stocks take these massive hits. And it kind of struck me as I'm watching this is I can see them blaming people, morals, and a conscience, for lack of a better term, conservatives, when the market will absolutely collapse. We watched it in 08, and there are certain amount of metrics and fundamentals and just basic math, right? When you overinflate a bubble, the purpose is to pop it, because that bubble, a bubble is a skin of nothing, right? And there's just enough surface tension so that it can hold air until it pops. And that's basically what the market is. And as they print, and just liquid, and keep interest rates, in my opinion, are still far lower. If they want to control inflation, they're far lower than what they should be. And they are creeping up. But we also see the implications of that, right? When they push that just a little bit, what happens as soon as they try to push that rate up, man, all these banks will go pop, 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 right? And it is a controlled demolition. These banks know, they announce, hey, we're going to raise the rate, right? And then these banks know what happens when they raise the rate, but they refuse to recalibrate their portfolio, maybe because they can't, because they're purposely mismanaged, right? And then they collapse, and then one of the big six magically has funds, probably Fed bucks, to slurp them up, right? And then the too big to fails becomes too bigger to fail. And it's the same process. We're watching this process over and over and over again.
It creates moral hazard. The banks know they're going to get bailed out. They've already shown that loud and clear. The Dodd-Frank Act went out the window.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, we still got it, but we're just not. We're just going to break the law. That's all.
Yeah, it only hurts you and me, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw that, and you have people like Buffett and Diamond and all these, globalists saying, your money's fine in the bank. Mm-hmm. You're good. They're going to fail, and we're going to consume them, but it'll be fine. And now, with the withdrawal article, it's going to be interesting when we get to the CBDC part. But it's just, it's happening. We're making history right now.
I would contend that when a bank like NatWest, when they publicize something like this, right, and they're telling you, hey, if you go to take your money, I contend that this is actually to inject fear into people at their branch, right, to cause a bank run. Because, the notion is silly and absurd on its face, right? Like, oh, well, what are you using your money for? And we need proof. Like, you tell me, like, if my bank said, well, what do you need the money for? We need proof. I'll be like, here's what I need you to do. I need you to liquidate the whole thing and just hand it to me. Like, you don't need to know anything that I'm doing. And as soon as humanly possible, as I can transfer out all of my funds, it'll absolutely happen.
I would be concerned with this bank's balance sheet if I had an account there.
Yeah, exactly.
I would think it's just hard to say. With the CBDC coming, they put this. Okay, so now when you go to get your money, you go to this bank. You say, "Hey, I want my money." Well, we don't have it, or why do you need it? Well, it doesn't matter. I want it. Well, you didn't get the memo. We sent this out to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's right here. You didn't get that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I didn't, but I still like my money. Well, I'm sorry. We don't have to do that. What are you buying again? It creates, I hear this story a lot when Stacey, she sells precious metals for Miles Franklin. And we hear these stories all the time. Hey, I want to get money out. And it's like, it's a hassle. It's not convenient anymore. It's more inconvenient to do the cash thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's all part of it too. Make it as hard as possible to use cash, and make it easy as possible to use the new currency, the CBDC. And
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that. And it's going to get even. I think they're going to have stimuluses, ways to encourage people to get into central bank digital currencies.
Well, we know that they're going to have stimuluses to do that, because when China rolled out its central bank currency, what did it do? It said, hey, if you open up a blockchain account, right, to get our China coin, right, what we're going to do is we're going to randomly select one person, and we're going to deposit 1 million yuan into their account. So they're going to gamify it, and they're going to stimulate it, and they're going to shoot Fed bucks in there, and one random person, or, it's going to be all Hunger Games and every dystopian book, movie. They like to take little snippets from each one and just stitch them all together. It is, it's an interesting time that we live in, and this is why we need to encourage each other, support each other, network to create a parallel community, a parallel society, a network of similar-minded folks that want to work together, support each other, encourage each other. And that's why, y'all, you need to go. Chris has several channels. Chris has a welding channel. He also has a diet and fitness channel. But go check out Financial Prepper. Make sure that you're subscribed there so that you're getting all of his information. And we could read down through here the CBDCs and the impact.
Yeah, go ahead. But before we do, just try to think, everybody that's listening, try to think in the ways they're going to try to use this. They're going to try to encourage people by your pension, by your, you can do this if you have a CBDC account.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a FedNow account, you can do all these things. But if you're just going to use cash, it's going to be a lot like direct deposit was for these people that get checks from, used to, you'd get a physical check, and you have to go to the bank and cash it. Well, and then they set up the direct deposit. Well, a lot of the Hispanic people I work with don't do direct deposit. They don't do banks. They don't trust them at all.
Yeah.
But they're losing some of that, easy. It's there a day or two early, Yeah. You could go on and kind of think about things they're going to do to implement this, because it's coming. It's supposed to be July, right?
Yeah, it is. And then, when I talk to my two local banks that I use, they both kind of really downplay it. And, both presidents that I talk to, they claim that it's like probably 10 years away, because all of these tests that they've done, they can't get them to work right. But that might be a little bit of a setup as well, because, some of the technology they have is very powerful, and we're watching what just unleashing AI, right? We're watching that large language model stuff and how quickly it can adapt and do different things. So I don't necessarily know. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff with this AI that it might solve some of these Fed coin problems rather rapidly. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a means of like connectivity, and I know what they're doing in these other countries, but I'm really curious, like you said, because I know a lot of I work with a lot of different Spanish guys that are still kind of old school in the sense of, we want to check, and they'll either go to like Walmart or wherever and cash it. And I am very curious at how they're going to facilitate that kind of stuff, because there are lots of people that still want to be autonomous for many reasons.
I think that's the holdup. I'm not certain, but I think the social score, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
And tying in the carbon footprint and all these things they don't quite have figured out yet. It's a lot. I mean, it's a big deal to change the way we transact, and to get all the older people that, still use their smartphone for just a phone, and for people that, like you said, immigrants. You know, they
Yeah.
got to take care of them somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they implement this. Here comes the CBDCs. This is all to lay the groundwork for the march into central bank digital currencies, which will seek to accomplish 3 objectives of late stage globalism. 1, eliminate privacy, making all transactions trackable, traceable, and taxable in real time. Like when you have out of control expenditures that are just unreal and they raise the debt ceiling, like, well, how are we going to tackle this? Right. Oh, we'll figure out a way to track and trace everybody so that every conceivable transaction you ever make ever again is taxable. Right. We're going to introduce controls on how, when, and why you are spending your own money. Think China style social credit, right? That they're already doing, which in its westernized form will almost certainly involve personal carbon footprint quotas. That'll be your carbon wallet, right? They're going to implement all of this fear monger, the globe is melting and, green EV and all this stuff. It's all going to merge. And they'll probably do a spritz of another pandemic in there somewhere. Extend the runaway of fiat currencies, which are about to hit the wall as a long wave debt super cycle reaches its crescendo. So here, Bomb Thrower is calling that how they're going to reel in the out of control spending is they're going to reconcile it and rectify it with CBDCs.
Extend the runway of fiat currencies. So there is more road to kick the can down. To turn you on. This is I've talked to David Morgan about this when I was in Vegas, and he thinks that they're going to have a hard time pulling it off. I think it's going to crash the system. It's like putting a failed currency on steroids. Treating a heart attack with an espresso.
Right. Wow.
It's a way to increase the velocity of money. But I guess if they're in control, they can, decrease it as well. Kind of a split second, and they can come up with any reason. If you've eaten too much red meat, or if you can't have that. If you use tobacco, nope, that takes away from your score.
Yeah.
They've got a camera now. I covered it. They have a camera. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I will in a minute. Yeah, they're trialing it in Europe right now. It can monitor 6 lanes of traffic. It's AI driven. And when it sees your face, it connects you to the tag on your car. It checks your insurance, your taxes, your violations. It can see if you're wearing your seatbelt, if you're smoking in the car with a baby. You're essentially being interrogated at a stoplight.
Yeah.
And it does 6 lanes of traffic at a time. You could get this not in the mail, but you'll see it deducted from your credit score, I think. So you can be sitting at a red light and all of a sudden lose 100 points or whatever. I'm sure mine's going to be in the negative anyway. They'll probably have a billboard for me on I-20, because there's public shaming in China.
Yeah,
it's a big thing. If your credit score is low, they'll make a billboard and stick you up on there.
Mm-hmm.
And say, hey, look at so and so. He's got a bad credit score because he jaywalked or something. Who knows? He used too much gas. So, this is truly an open air prison. If you control all the money.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
Thunderdome currency for sure.
It's funny how you mentioned that China thing, because we did a kind of like a watch along reaction video to Charlie Munger, who's Warren Buffett's right hand man, and he was just like in awe of how great totalitarianism has worked for bringing people out of poverty in China. It's the most postmodern, like newspeak, revisionist history. And then we had people commenting like oh yeah, well, you don't understand China. And I'm like, I definitely understand. I understand enough about China and what they're doing. and the model and Tragedy and Hope and Carol Quigley and, Brzezinski Brzezinski and Heinz Kissinger and everything that's going on. I mean, China is what they want. China is the model for what they want to implement in first world countries like the United States.
It was really crazy to hear him say that. I heard it too.
Yeah, it was wild.
Somebody else was attaboy in China. So, they really did a good job locking their people down.
Trump said that during the lockdown, it's really great how they can track and trace everybody and find patient zero and all that stuff. And it was just like, wow, that's not very capitalistic and patriotic of you to be so proud of how China is totalitarian and can track their own people and all this stuff.
It's Benjamin Franklin. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety.
Yeah, that is true.
He said a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, most of the founders warned about all this stuff, and they very much tried to establish checks and balances to chain the beast by the separation of powers and all the checks and balances that have completely been systematically eradicated. I would say probably starting at the Civil War, which put a big old gigantic clobber on the Constitution itself, and just the sovereignty of statehood, and just that check and balance all by itself, by basically abolishing that and creating a more perfect union through a very fascistic act of the Civil War. But what Bomb Thrower is saying is the solution here is Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that crypto isn't a viable or potentially one solution. The things that I am concerned about with crypto is the digital access. And the other thing that concerns me with crypto is I never like investing in anything that I don't fully understand. And I do understand how any crypto can be a modicum of exchange. So I understand that part. It's just when we get into all this like hard wallets and soft wallets and passwords. Oh, that when they said you need a password, I can just, and I have friends that have lost their keys to their wallets, and it's bad news. And that's why I'm really big on hard assets like gold and silver. Maybe you can cover what's JP Morgan talking about gold, interestingly enough.
All right, I'm having a sudden rainstorm here.
Oh, yeah, we had that here too.
It's real loud. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But it's strange to see the man that has been spoofing the precious metals market to say things like this. And it wasn't him, but it was somebody. I'll just read it to you. JP Morgan advises cutting exposure to risk on assets and holding more cash and gold.
Wow.
Citing the U.S. debt ceiling risk, recession outlook, and a hawkish Federal Reserve stance. So JP Morgan cited gold's safe haven effects and properties as a hedge against the debt ceiling debacle. JP Morgan Chase chief global market strategist Mark Kolvinack cited, quote, with equities trading close to this year's highs, our model portfolio produced another loss this month, the third loss in 4 months. So it's when you start seeing this kind of talk, it should really be bullish for precious metals. Yeah. And I just found that it struck me as odd that he's saying it. And it kind of makes you think, have they been doing, they have been doing it to run the price of metals down, but have they been doing that for their own good? Have they been running the price down? And they might do it some more, so they can accumulate. Look, these people do not want you to have the resources. They don't want you to have God's money. There's only so much of it in the ground. God made it really simple. Most things are simple. Yeah. He put currency in the ground that's hard to get to. Period. You can't just go print up a bunch of it. It's been money forever. you know.
Oh, he talks about it in Genesis, right? Where the gold and silver are, right? Where it right in Genesis, like right from the beginning.
It talks about, I've got it wrote down and I can't find it, but it's mentioned like 400 and something times in the Bible what wealth is. And they say gold, silver, land, and farm animals.
Yep. Yeah, that's great.
That's wealth. That's real wealth.
Stuff. Yep. You got your food 401k, you got your dirt coin, you got some gold and silver. I think now's a great time to announce that we're teaming up with Stacey at the Financial Prepper. So if anybody on our channel on the Texas Boys is looking to purchase gold and silver, I can tell you that it is an absolutely wonderful, enjoyable transaction working with Chris and Stacey. We have purchased silver from them. It's a very simple process. They, in my opinion, from what I've experienced, they offer the best price there is. The packaging, it's quick and painless, you know, as your bank will allow it to be. And mine, it was very quick and easy, and just a great experience. And we really appreciate y'all. We appreciate your pricing, because you're not looking to club anybody or gouge anybody. You're not looking to retire on every transaction. So we really appreciate Chris and Stacey and the service that they're providing through Miles Franklin. And I want to encourage anyone that is looking to purchase more gold and silver to absolutely give Stacey a call and get some pricing, and at least give them a shot. Let them give you some pricing.
Yeah, that's what I say. And I try to say it every time I mention Stacey. And she sells a lot of precious metals. We try to sell volume, you know, at good prices. But I encourage people to go somewhere else first. Try 2 other places first. Always get 3 bids on everything you do. I don't care if you're putting a roof on your house or whatever. Get 3 bids. It keeps everybody honest.
Yeah.
And you might find, you know, a little bit cheaper price. I hope you do, actually. But, you know, there's a lot of people, and we had this conversation before. We were going to help you get your people into some precious metals, and we were already doing business with another guy, and he was sending people, and it was keeping Stacey really busy. But this other guy had another offer from another company that was way more than we could even think about, because they charge so much more. Guys, you really need to watch out for scams in the precious metals market.
Yeah,
it is. And it's like that with everything, you know, crypto, everything's got a scam somewhere. And if somebody, and a lot of times when you call these other couple of companies that you know, would like to check their prices, they're not going to want to tell you what it costs. It's the strangest conversation. I call them all the time because they contact me all the time wanting me to, you know, sell precious metals for them. I said, well, how much is a monster box right now? It's a real simple question. They cannot tell you. They answer that question with another question. Well, how much do you have to spend?
Like you're buying a car. Oh, it's terrible. Isn't that terrible?
I just want a price. I'm shopping around. And it's man, they really do a dance. It is really incredible. They can talk fast, and it's you know, I like to listen to them. But in the end, they usually come out with a price. And the last time it was $1,000 more. It was $1,000.
That is insane.
Yeah,
that's a gouge.
So really get the important thing is you hedge your wealth. You know, you got insurance on your car, your house,
exactly,
your health.
Nobody's telling you to take all the cash and everything you got and put it in gold and silver, but have a percentage, you know, because with whatever's going to happen with even holding, you know, having a certain amount of fiat dollars, whether it's 2 to 6 to a year's worth of your discretionary spending, right? Having that on hand. Well, look, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. If you have that in silver, you're doing 2 things, right? Because you are going to be able to exchange, you know, in my opinion, gold is very consolidated, where you can store a large amount of wealth in a very small area, but silver is much more transactable, right? So that if and when a time comes for a barter or a medium of exchange, silver is more liquid in the sense that it's easier to exchange that rather than taking a gold bar and shaving or cutting a corner off of it or shaving flakes off of it. So that's why I prefer silver, but that doesn't mean I don't have gold. but that means that I believe that silver is more serviceable, in my opinion.
That is a wise. There's another way to look at it, and that's you could play the ratio, the silver to gold ratio. How many ounces does it take to buy 1 ounce of gold? Right now, it's 83 to 1, or it's close. I don't know. Just take the gold price and divide it by the silver price.
Yeah.
And historically, that number gets really out of whack, and is explained to me like it's a yapping dog that's a lady's walking, and it gets way behind, and then it'll run way up, like a little puppy does. And it'll get to the end of its leash and it'll come back. And a lot of people start switching over when it gets 50, 40 to 1, and they'll switch over some more when it gets 30 to 1. And there's a good chance it might go higher than that, because there is a push towards precious metals right now that we've never seen. Andy Schechtman with Miles Franklin's never seen. I mean, it's amazing to see retail move at wealthy people. I know a friend of ours, just one lady bought $50 million worth.
Wow.
That's the thing. When big money starts to move,
yep,
it takes supply, and JP Morgan can spoof it all he wants, but eventually that cat's going to get out of the bag.
Yeah, and we saw silver run. When was that? When it went to 60?
Did it go to 60?
Was it 50? Is that what? When did that happen? Was that in 11 or 12 or?
I think it was 2011.
11. Yeah. Yep. Because I'd slowly been accumulating silver prior to that, and then after it had a big pullback, I started buying it again. But we watched that expansion and contraction, and it's very likely that it's going to happen, and it's more likely than not that it's going to happen soon. But the greater beauty is it is a store of value, and you'll always have it. It will never be zero, and that's just the beauty of it. And when push comes to shove, and there is a need for exchange, and someone doesn't have, like, if it's not a like kind exchange, like corn for potatoes, but it is a store of value, so that if you need some food or whatever to do an exchange, you'll have it. So I just see it's a no lose scenario. It just, there, in no case would it make sense to not have it.
Right. But timing the market, I know you go back to the $50 an ounce. I know one of the best investors that I know bought a monster box at $50 an ounce at the very tippy top. And then it pulled back for years and years and years. So if you'll start slowly accumulating and buying when everybody's not buying, trying to, when it takes these rips, a lot of people FOMO in, people like to buy things when they're going up. Dollar cost averaging is probably the best way. I would say do that and then buy on the dips as well. I have a certain percentage. I don't like telling anybody, because you might do what I do and I might be wrong, but we keep that. And I like to speculate when the market dips. It just makes sense to me, and it's easy. It's like rental properties. It's like hard things that you figure out and you do one time. It's like, okay, I'll just do this. I don't have to worry about the stock market going up and down.
Right. And that's why I like it so much more than Bitcoin, because it's not complicated. I don't have to, what exchange platform am I going to use, and what kind of wallet, and do I have a hard wallet and a soft wallet? And man, I'm kind of street smart, but when it comes to all that technical stuff, like, I'm a technical retard. Okay. And that's, I think, Chris, when we were together trying to shoot videos, we were really simpatico in the sense of, like, dude, like, I couldn't get my stupid GoPro to work, and I couldn't even figure out how to get the dumb battery out.
Yeah. Technology's not my friend either, buddy. But it's important. I want to encourage everybody. I know, a lot of people don't have any idea about crypto. I would like to encourage you to buy a little Bitcoin right now.
Sure.
Just a little bit, and start moving it around. Take it from one platform, get a hard wallet. Yes, the hard wallets have been hacked lately. I don't know if you've heard that new news.
Yeah.
Bitcoin very well might go to $500,000 or even $1 million.
Sure.
There's no telling what's going to happen. This is the Thunderdome. Anything past 2020 goes. So people like to move and onto something that's going up. We saw
Yeah.
this with dog coin, with stuff that makes absolutely 0 sense.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to go on with crypto, I believe. Now, I do think they have some regulation coming, and
Yeah.
you know, it's the last thing the government wants is competition with the U.S. dollar that's already dying. But if you could start making, you know, we just don't know. So be familiar with it. I'm not telling anybody about crypto, but I would say buy a dollar's worth. Buy just a little bit, move it around, and get used to the process. That way you'll at least know. That way you can, you know, if you had to do that. Because look, when the people started leaving Russia, you remember that?
Yep.
A lot of them were able to get their wealth out of the country through Bitcoin.
They
put it on a hard wallet.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to have the hard wallet with them. They can remember a seed phrase. They get to wherever they're going, and they have all their money. You cannot do that with gold, silver, or cash.
No, you can't.
So it has its place. I know people hate it, but I just don't understand people that I'm all in on gold, or I'm all in on, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, or just be diversified, you know, because we just simply don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's great advice. I think it's good. And we do have a little bit of couple different Solana and Bitcoin and Ethereum. We do have some on Coinbase. So we're experimenting with it and just trying to get, and that's the same thing that
platform, though.
Yeah, that's the same thing that Jack Spirko recommends is just start transacting it with it, get to understand it and know how it moves and different things and what different options are with hard and soft wallets and hard and soft tokens and all that stuff. So that's great advice.
You want to talk about scams, man, there's some scams in crypto.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
It is the Wild West. It is nutty. I lost my first $100,000 in crypto.
Wow.
But I made it. I lost it in the same realm I made it. You know, I knew the risk I was taking, but it's still hard to stomach.
Yeah. So it was just a speculative, a new type of crypto, or
no? Well, yeah. Well, a lot of them were, but back in 2019 or 2018, I don't remember. Started getting into it and started speculating. Bought some Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from 7,000 to 60 or something. You know, during the period I bought, and I'd made money on everything, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, and I took that money and I put it on a platform to loan me more money.
Oh, yeah, like a Binance.
And the crypto fell out, and I was scared to cover my short because I didn't know if it would go down some more.
Right.
And it just went away, and it's just gone.
Wow.
It's like, but easy come, easy go.
Yep.
And that goes with that. I learned a valuable lesson, and I'm still green. I'm still in the green. You know,
and the beauty, if you learn from it, you know, it still has value. You know what I mean? So if you just don't do the same
hear about it.
Yeah, if you don't do the same stupid thing again, then it has a serious amount of value. Or if it helps you in your next 5 transactions double or triple, you know, that $100,000 loss might actually be worth $500,000.
One more thing is I would, if you're going to do it, go ahead and learn how to put it on a hard wallet. Get it off Coinbase. Get it off MetaMask or whatever, wherever it's at, and get it off there. And I think you're safer that way. 100% for sure you are. And then there's the whole, if the internet goes down.
Right.
You know, who knows? It's supposed to regenerate. But like I said, we're speculating.
Right. Well, this has been a great conversation, Chris. Do you have any closing thoughts or any ideas regarding as a wrap up?
Guys, God's got a plan for all this. We got AI coming. We've got, you know, the CBDC that's going to be manipulated by the government in all kind of crazy ways. It's really, like I say all the time, we're making history. This is earth shattering. This is going to change everything. We don't know if it's going to start July like they said, or maybe it's 10 years, but does it really matter? Ask yourself that. Are you going to wait to get ready when it's hard, or get started now? Get started dabbling in crypto. Get started with your precious metals. Get started with your food growing and your food 401k, and all these things take action. It's the hardest thing to do for me to do is get on computer and piddle with crypto. I hate it. I hate standing in front of a computer, but I made myself do it so I can be familiar with it. And, you know, now I'm ready. If Bitcoin takes a dip, I'll back the truck up. They start regulating it. You know, we'll use that to turn that into some precious metals, or maybe land, or I'd like a track hoe. You know, if I get a track hoe, I'm going to put a big Bitcoin sticker on it. That'll be that's it, guys. Just get ready, because it's coming. It might be slow, but it's on the way.
And you know what? If it is slow, it's a blessing, y'all. If this thing is a slow burn, it's God is giving you the opportunity to prepare. So don't squander that. You know, how many times have you heard this stuff and you just like, well, it ain't really that bad, and it ain't really like that. And, you know, we're here, y'all. It's 1984. So welcome to the future and welcome to the past, and get started and stay consistent, stay steady. Just do a little bit every day. Action cures fear, and press forward and control what you control. Do what you can where you're at with what you got, and leave the rest to God. And we appreciate and love y'all. Don't forget to sign up over at Chris's channel, Financial Prepper. If you are looking for some gold and silver, give Stacey a call. Let her know the Texas Boys sent you. Get started on that hard currency journey now, and, you know, diversify. And that, when we talk about diversification, everything, you know, there's DEI, there's ESG, and there's, you know, all the other alphabet stuff that we have to consider. And now's the time to get started and do something today, y'all. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks you for your time. Thanks for being on. Thanks for providing us with awesome information. And like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next video.